Tonight, the firestorm in Southern California is stretching into its 6th day. At least 16 people have died, and officials fear that number will continue to rise. Right now, more than 105,000 people remain under evacuation orders. The wind-fed fires have swept through 40,000 acres in the greater Los Angeles area, destroying entire communities and more than 12,000 structures. Officials now concerned the strong winds will threaten the progress that firefighters have already made. Red flag warnings are in effect through Wednesday as wind gusts pick up again. The fire danger level is critical for much of the region. There's now a curfew in place for areas affected.
These winds, combined with low relative humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County very high.
Keep in mind that curfew. NBC5's Lexi Suter in Los Angeles County helping out for our NBC affiliate with details on the devastation.
Good evening from Los Angeles, where the Palisades fire remains the most threatening of several that's burning tonight. Right now, it's pushing into the San Fernando Valley, where we know 105,000 people have had to evacuate. Officials upped the number of crews fighting this Palisades fire. Now, more than 4,000 first responders are in the air and on the ground attacking the flames. The fire has burned well over 23,000 acres over the last 5 days. The Mandeville Canyon area has been a strong focus. Communities threatened around the canyon include Encino, Tarzana, Brentwood, and Bel Air. Our cameras were rolling as we watched firefighters build on the progress they were able to make while the weather was calm. They made numerous water and flame retardant drops, planes circling, refueling, resupplying, and continuing this type of work overnight. Calm winds have allowed firefighters to get ahead this weekend, and that's a very good thing because the weather won't stay that way. LA is expecting strong Santa Ana winds early this week, so the hope is they can get this fire under control as soon as possible. Reporting in Los Angeles, Lexi Suter, NBC5 News.
The fires have been burning in Los Angeles for 6 days now, and the winds that fueled those flames and made these fires so destructive, they are about to get stronger again. Stefan Holt is joining us now in studio with where things stand right now in that firefight. Stefan?
Alex, you're talking about those Santa Ana winds, and once again, the red flag warning is in effect in Southern California. They're in effect all the way until Wednesday evening, so the fire danger is not even close to being over. Two big concerns we're talking about here: risk for flare-ups in the burn zones, also the threat of new fires. Firefighters are not letting their guard down just yet. Let's bring you up to speed on the situation at this moment. 3 fires are burning, around 59 square miles in all. That includes the Palisades fire on the west side of Los Angeles. That is still burning. 24 people are confirmed dead this afternoon, but sadly, that number is still expected to rise. Firefighters going block by block right now. They're still searching for the missing. More than 90,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders in LA County. About an equal number are being warned to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Officials say they know people want to go back to their homes to check on them, make sure they're still standing, but they also say they want to make sure it is safe first.
Please be patient with us. People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors.
We're not in the clear. I want to make sure of that. We are not in the clear as of yet, and we must not let our guard down.
You look at these pictures of the devastation. More than 12,000 structures are destroyed in these fires. The losses are staggering. If you put a dollar amount to it, it's expected to be close to $30 billion at this point. Again, that danger is still out there. The overwhelming majority of that loss all comes from people's homes.
This is an absolute nightmare. This is an apocalyptic movie. There's no way to assess really the magnitude of this situation.
See it this way. I never thought I would live through something like this.
I mean, you just can't help it. You feel the heartbreak seeing entire neighborhoods leveled by these fires. So many people are asking right now, how did these fires start? Was this an accident? Was this intentional? Investigators at this very moment are still trying to answer that, try to figure out exactly what ignited these fires. But Edison International, they're now saying the smallest of these fires that's burning right now, this is the Hearst fire near Sylmar in the northern San Fernando Valley. That one may have been caused by downed power lines. At last check, that fire is about 95% contained. So we mentioned the search for the missing. There's also a curfew that's in effect for the evacuation zones. That's to make room for firefighters, but mostly, Alex, to prevent looters. 34 people have been arrested for looting, including a burglar who apparently was impersonating a firefighter to get into that frozen zone. To think the criminals are using this tragedy as a way to take advantage of the situation.
That's just disgusting to hear, frankly, that people would do that. Stefan, we appreciate the update. Thank you.
Now to those wildfires ravaging Southern California. Crews on high alert once again in the fire zone today.
Thankfully, the winds are expected to die down. They were expected to die down. They're expected to be strong, though, in places that were throughout tomorrow. Some of these places that have been surrounded by flames. NBC5's Alex Maragos joining us in the studio tonight with the latest on those brave efforts from those firefighters, Alex.
Yeah, hey, Stefan and Allison. Right now, 13 million or more are under what's described as particularly dangerous red flag warning. So that's an extreme designation, not often used by the National Weather Service, but that's the kind of weather that they expect today, to be on high alert. Tens of thousands of people, as you know, have already been displaced by the fires, and we now have collectively torn about an area the size of Miami combined. So many of them just can't go back to their neighborhoods yet. When they do, though, you've seen the pictures. This is the scene that so many are going to have to face: their homes reduced to ash, rubble, and debris. Their cars parked on the street and driveways are just completely charred. Meanwhile, crews are working to soak smoldering homes, even if they've already burned in some of the debris that's left, ahead of the return of these intense Santa Ana winds, with the hope they can try to prevent the spread of any new fires that may pop up.
Our goal is to address both the immediate challenges and the long-term needs of those infected by these devastating events.
Firefighters who've been on the job for 25, 30 years to say to me that in their entire careers they have never seen destruction like this. They have never seen wind so fierce.
And take a look at this here. Some first responders were surprised to see. That's Jay Leno right there in the middle, serving up food in a region that so many entertainers and famous people are calling home. Jay came in to do what he could to help a little bit. And Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass went on to say in that news conference, of course, they don't have hurricanes in Southern California, but she said, imagine a dry hurricane coming in and carrying fire. That's how she described what first responders have been facing. And making it through the next few days is going to be really key now that they have more resources in to try to prevent things from getting worse. But we'll just have to wait and see. Allison and Stefan.
Everybody's talking about the first responders, and here in the Chicago area, people are finding ways to help victims of the wildfires in California, whether it's stepping up to raise money for those who've lost everything, including their homes, or suiting up to give rescue workers a much-needed break. Here's NBC5's Natalie Martinez.
This is Evanston native Megan Handley Katurgian and her 2 kids. This is her house in Altadena, California, before the wildfires and after. Before and after.
My heart is hurting.
Liz Ribeiro grew up with Megan in Evanston and at the local Presbyterian church.
She is just the nicest, kindest, most giving person, but unfortunately, fire doesn't care.
Tonight, Liz is collecting clothing and running an online fundraiser to help her lifelong friend in her darkest time.
For the past 7 years, has been running a nonprofit called Door of Hope, where she helps families transition out of homelessness and find their footing. And she's now found herself unhoused as well.
As these devastating wildfires continue to ravage California, veteran-led nonprofit Team Rubicon readies its Chicago Westtown Station volunteers, who they call Gray Shirts. Here they are cleaning up after the 2023 floods in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. And here they are in California. And while this group is based in L.A., they've got 3,400 Chicagoland volunteers.
Our volunteers are represented by 60% military veterans. We also have retired firefighters, police officers, medical professionals, nurses, doctors, and then we also have civilians.
They're all trained in various areas to help clear paths for first responders to remain focused on fighting these fires.
Heavy equipment, chainsaws, and just manual labor to go ahead and fill sandbags for potential flooding and runoff and things of this nature, given the scarring from the fire area.
TRUSA.org is also looking for help tonight. Natalie Martinez, NBC5 News.